I'm George from MovieWeb. I'm really happy to be here talking to you, Ramon. I want to start asking you about doing action movies. You've done a lot, and you've worked with a lot of great talent. What's it like doing all these action scenes with Viola Davis and creating that dynamic that you have on screen in the action together?
Viola's incredible. Obviously, you know, an EGOT, which is just incredible. I love that. And, you know, but beyond that, she's just an awesome person, man. She's just so gracious. And, you know, first time I met her, we were actually training in LA and we had to learn some martial arts and hand-to-hand combat. And she just walks up with a big smile and a big hug, and you're immediately like, okay, this is gonna be awesome. And it was cool because we got to learn things together, and I think that's a great way to kind of develop a bond. We learned Jiu-Jitsu together, and you know, I've been saying, which is just true, that there's nothing that brings you closer than when you're having to grapple with someone intimately, you know, and we got to do that and learn some of those skills. And then it just became about, you know, how do we translate some of that on screen and on camera, and some of it was on page already. You know, these two characters, Manny and the president, had history. They both served in the military and they came up together. But I you know, the loyalty, the dedication that this guy had for her, it was easy to have with Viola because I'm like, I'll have your back regardless. On screen as Manny or as Ramon, I got your back. And you could feel the love, and I think hopefully that's what translates.
Oh, it definitely does. And the scenes, you don't expect the beautiful moments that you guys have in an action movie quite like this. It added to it is that you're both representing different kinds of people than we might normally see in some of these roles. And the closeness and the loyalty and the shoulder-to-shoulderness, I just feel like it's really important. Like, it really matters. And
well,
it like hits you in the heart in a way, especially today. Like
awesome.
Seeing you and her and who you guys are and what you represent, loyal to each other in that way. It's I want to hear you talk a little bit about that, and like if you're kind of aware of the impact of that and the value, it's big.
No, we were really aware of that, and I think, you know, there's something about, it was something I kept, anyway, I talked to Patricia a lot about it, by the way, as a Latina director in this big action film. I mean, so there were a lot of things like that that immediately I said, this is cool, and this could have a, yes, it's a fun action film, but we're also saying there's something that to be said about this, the perception, the power of seeing an African-American black actress as the lead and as the president, this director Latina, Manny as a Latino who's there with her. You know, it's not lost upon any of us. We talked about that a lot. For the character side of it, what I thought was fascinating is, you know, they watched each other rise the ranks and they knew each other's struggles, particularly as people of color. To watch her to become president and for her to select Manny as her lead Secret Service agent, that was something that we knew had some weight to it. So then in their scenes, you know, it could almost feel like they were maybe siblings at times, you know, like, but also they would clash. But at the end of the day, I mean, his job and his responsibility was to protect her. But we had this, Patricia and I spoke about it a lot. You know, we knew the impact of what a movie like this could have, and that it matters. It matters beyond just the entertainment value of it, which we hope for. That's key.
It's there.
Because I grew up with the classic, you know, the diehards, and I was like, this could be that, but I've never seen it with these people.
None of us have,
So,
and it definitely comes across. I love that you said you guys do it. You did it. We don't ever hear you talk about it.
Never.
But it's there.
It just is. And there's a power to that. Even, I love what she did with just portraying the president as a person, a mother, a wife, you know, with a rebellious teenager. It's just, these are themes that everyone can relate to and understand. And again, the loyalty from Manny's part with her and that relationship, hopefully it just humanizes it, and we're not trying to beat you over the head with any kind of messaging. It's just, this is what it is.
It is, and it's beautiful. Thank you for doing it. Great
Yeah,
job,
man. Thank you.
Thank you.